What is up, everybody? You are watching Fun with the Gun once again, and today we're talking about a subject that is widely debated in the gun community. That's right, we're talking about the best caliber for home defense. So, you may be wondering, well, how do you intend on testing this? Okay, so what we did was we built a wall, much like what you'd find in your house. And we're going to be testing 6 different calibers against that, seeing which one is going to over-penetrate and maybe like hit or kill your loved one that's behind the wall. We're testing a worst case scenario here where you shoot at your threat, miss it, and we're going to be seeing which caliber goes through. So we're going to be testing 380, 9mm, 5.56, 7.62 by 39, 357, bird shot from a 12 gauge shotgun, and then last but not least, buckshot as well. And we're going to be seeing which one, if any of them, or if all of them, are going to over-penetrate our drywall over here. So let's get this thing started. Alright, so I wanted to address one little thing here before we get started, and that is, obviously, you wouldn't be using full metal jacket rounds or anything like that for a home defense scenario. So, for each of our weapons here, we're going to be using hollow point rounds, because that's what people generally say is the best type of weapon, or rather, the best type of bullet to use in your gun for a home defense scenario. So I just wanted to clear that up before we start this thing. So now, let's get this started. This is the first result from our 380 hollow point. Now, it's important to note, it over-penetrated a lot. So what it did is, not only did it over-penetrate through our drywall here, but it fragmented, and we see a couple holes in our target here, all of which are really bad news for the guy behind the drywall. So, 380, that is definitely a no-go. Over-penetration is far too great. Let's move on to something else and see what happens. Alright guys, one thing I want to note here. As you're watching, I want you to keep in mind just what you think is going to be the least lethal of all of our shots here that we're going to be firing at this drywall.
Hey.
Alright, we've got our 9mm hollow point now. I'm going to take another shot. Guys, so this 9mm was really bad for our guy behind the drywall here. Apparently, when it hit the back part of the drywall, it split it and created like a shotgun burst on this guy. I don't know if you can see it, but I can. There's like drywall bits and fragments everywhere on this guy. Really unfriendly, and we've got our bullet hole right here, so it penetrated right through just like the 380 did, which I was expecting, seeing as the 9mm is just a larger 380. So, yeah, bad results here as well. Let's move on. Alright, 38 special jacketed hollow point. Let's see what happens. Alright, so here's the results from our 38 special hollow point. And as you can see, at least I hope you can see, I don't know if it translates that well over the camera, but this is really bad. This is even worse fragmentation than what we got from our 9mm. That 38 special just blew a hole through the back of our drywall there, and it created a massive burst all over our target here of just nasty shrapnel and wood and all this bad stuff. This is really bad. 38 special jacketed hollow point, not at all a good decision for home defense.
Yeah, look at that. The holes right above his right shoulder.
Exactly. I mean, we've got our bullet hole, but we've also got a ton of fragmentation holes here from shrapnel that went all the way around this guy everywhere and just penetrated every which way it could. This is looking real bad for hollow points as home defense rounds. Yep. Let's hope our next few ones perform better. Let's move on. Alright, now we've moved from 38 special hollow point to 357 hollow point. I'm expecting worse results. Man, guys, things just keep getting worse and worse here for our hollow point tests. Our 357 has provided the most fragmentation out of anything that I've seen so far yet. We've got a shotgun pattern of wood and drywall all over our guy here, not to mention the bullet hole, so it went straight through. There was extreme over-penetration. It's like our 38 special, but worse.
There are a lot of little holes, like a shotgun.
Yep.
Like little pellets.
Here. There are too many.
Fragmentation from the bullet.
Yeah, this is far worse than the 38 special even was. So let's move it on to a few rifle calibers and probably get worse results, but hey, you never know, right? So let's try this out. Alright, we've got a 223 hollow point now. Let's try this out. Alright, so we've got our 223 hollow point here, which again over-penetrated just like all the others. Sent fragmentation all over our guy here. It's just as bad as our 357. I was hoping for better results, seeing as the bullet was traveling a little bit faster and it's a little bit more frangible, but man, it looks just as bad. Let's move it on and try something else. Alright, so this is obviously the worst case scenario. Let's say somebody breaks into your house and the only option you've got is your AK. So hoping for the best, you load it with hollow points and go to work. I'm expecting absolutely disastrous results from this, but hey, let's do it just for kicks, right? Alright, so we've got our 7.62x39 hollow point hole here. Just as bad as all the others. Over-penetrated, didn't flatten, sent fragmentation all over our guy here. Man, this is not looking good for hollow points. Every single hollow point that we've tested, and we have tested all of them now, have turned out with disastrous results for penetration purposes. So we're going to go try out a few shotgun rounds now and see if we can make the best out of a bad situation. Let's go do this. Alright, so you often hear that double-aught buck is probably the best possible round to use for home defense. But what if you miss? Is it going to over-penetrate? Let's find out.
It died.
Yep, it did. Well guys, I thought I was shooting double-aught buck. Turns out it was birdshot. But if we take a look over here, we can see that the birdshot hit here pretty hard. And on the other side, it over-penetrated. It went through our target. It hit our guy. So if birdshot is going to go straight through our drywall and over-penetrate and hit what's behind it, buckshot is going to do a heck of a lot worse. Especially from what we've seen from all of our hollow point bullets, buckshot would have been worse. So we know, given what we've seen here, that buckshot would have been just as bad as all the other hollow point rounds that we've tested. So now we see that from 20 feet, which is where we were shooting and where most home engagements are supposedly reported to take place, that really none of the rounds that we brought today would be effective for under-penetrating. Every single thing, in a worst-case scenario, went through our drywall and over-penetrated. And here's the results, just in case you were interested in seeing it.
This is the rear side.
Yep, we've got our 223 at the top, 380 in the center, 38 special on the right-hand side, 9mm on the left, 357 at the bottom, and right here, I don't know if you can see that because of the writing, but 7.62x39, every single one of them blasted right through here. Oh, and at the top left corner, obviously, we've got our birdshot, so we've got a massive, massive burst right there. So, yeah, from what we've seen here, none of these would be effective home defense rounds. Every single one of them is going to over-penetrate. So, even if you hit your target, what if it goes through them?
Well, the hollow point, chances are it's not.
Okay, so there's that.
Yeah.
But
through a wall, if you miss your target and you hit a wall,
whatever's behind that wall is screwed. So, moral of the story that I'm finding out here is, you better make sure you don't miss if you've got a home intruder in your house.
Okay.
Well guys, we had a heck of a lot of fun today, and we learned one very valuable lesson. And that lesson is that you need to be so conscious of what is behind your target when you're shooting at it, especially in a home defense scenario. Because as you can see with our drywall here and our paper guy, every single one of the loads that we fired at this drywall went right through, some of which even sending shrapnel at our paper guy over there, and that's going to ruin his day a lot. So you need to be so conscious and so careful of what you are shooting at to make sure you're not going to accidentally hit something that's behind it and damage somebody or, God forbid, kill somebody. Thank you all for watching once again. Don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe, and I will see you all next time. This has been Fun with the Gun, signing off.